Hi everybody. Well, it's time for me to focus on one of my loves, and that's crafting, painting, etc. So, back in 1 second. Okay, what we have here is a very cheap made, cheap cost um, birdhouse. This was made by the company called Plaid, which also makes apple barrel paints. And so, of course, it's fitting to use apple barrel paints on it. However, I will be including some accents with the metallic acrylic paints. So we're going to have to begin, and the only way to begin is, well, we pick up some paint. Now I want the base color to be the darker green. And then the highlights will be the light caterpillar color. And, okay, this one is called spring green. And this one is candy pink. So those are the highlights. With, of course, some of the metallics. And what we want to do is get this coated first. I do not have it prepped for, pre-sealed. So it'll be what it's going to be. And this paint may be gone already because I've only had these paints for 3 years as I had started focusing on resin work. And, oh good, there's still some viability there. A little bit of stringies, but that can be dealt with. Let me go ahead and grab a napkin to wipe that off. That noise you heard was my phone. My daughter, who visited me a couple of days ago, she has now been sitting in the hospital trying to figure out if she's having a stroke. So we will figure that out. And this is one reason why I'm doing this, is I've got to take my mind off of some things for a minute or two because, anyway, life, right? That is such a beautiful little color. Okay, I'm going to check my phone real quick, see what he says, because I asked how she was doing, and if they found anything yet. We have... me and my no sight fingers. Sorry folks, I can't multitask anymore the way I used to. All right, he'd said that there were some anomalies and some things that happened in the past that today's episode is pressing on some of that. So she's having a large migraine, very large migraine. So I guess they're gonna let her go soon. Whoops, let's not get too much of that out because I have to add some water to thin it out a little bit. I got my normal clothes on, which is probably going to make them paint clothing, because that's what happens. Because as a painter, you don't own anything that is not artist clothing. Sorry, I'm taking in a little bit of my fluids I'm allowed today. And being on double Lasix, boy, you don't stay out of that bathroom. Not for very long. Alright, so let's add some water to this. Normally I add varnish, clear gloss varnish, but I can't get to it today. It's in the far corner of my room. There we go. I want to use this portion to stir with so that I can keep my brush as clean, unclogged as possible. And I may have put too much water in, may need more paint, etc., etc., etc. Not an exact science, especially when you can't see all that well in the first place. So I'm just having fun, folks, okay? Distractions, distractions, distractions. That's what we need in life. I did finally get done with putting up with that pumpkin lover. She and her friends, or she and her many personalities, have been in the channel causing crap, and so I got rid of her. Them, whomever. I'm sorry that people have to feel that they have to go and try to make somebody else's life miserable just to make theirs feel valid. So today I am washing all that stuff away, all the crap, and concentrating on some fun. Okay, that looks a little finished, but let's see how the coating goes, right? I have an extra long brush. I don't know why I've got that. I do have other brushes, and they're in this can, and I've got some everywhere else. And I might switch. Oh, I'm going to have to switch to a shorter brush because that is just way too long. Seriously, it is. Let's go with a really cheap brush. Okay, so yes, that is quite thin. It's definitely like water right now. I will say this, when you paint with acrylics, when you thin it out with water, the water tends to make it dry faster. And I think it's because the moisture causes more disbursement of the pigment, and the water, of course, becomes evaporated and leaves the pigment behind. So let's just see how this goes on this. We want the rooftop and everything to be green. Oh yeah, it's definitely watery, but I think I can make do with it. And I might have to get some more going, but we're going to see. Yeah, see, it's already starting to dry as I'm putting it on. That's how that goes, that fast. The wood is very absorbent. It's pine, of course. That's how they make things inexpensively, so they can sell it inexpensively. Cheaply. Try to get into the crevices here. I might go into a coughing fit because I am on the full dual nubs again. And I get the shakes quite badly. Anybody that's been on ipratropium and albuterol nebulizer will know how badly you can shake. Some are not as effective as others, but there are those that shake so badly they can't function for a few hours after. And then sadly, since dual nubs are done every 6 hours, you only have a small window of time to do things that requires a steady hand, and even then, you don't ever get a steady hand again. You will shake forever. You will always have what I call the nubs shake. And you'll see that with, you know, anybody on YouTube that has to use those things. Oh, my hands are not used to doing this, and they're already beginning to hurt. If I could reach my other colors, it will definitely have some different colors. When depth perception leaves you, you hope you got something in there where you're supposed to have it instead of somewhere else. Like, I have this thing. I have to do things on my own because I have to feel somewhat independent still. So yesterday, I was pouring some of my allotted fluids, and I was just getting ready to pour when my husband took my hand and he moved it over. I'm like, oh, okay, so I wasn't over it, I'm sorry. So I stayed where he put my hand, I thought, and my hand drifted again, and he's like, no, back over, and okay, so I guess I'm going to need bibs and a few other things to stay more independent. But do what we got to do. Okay, let's see if we can fill in these crevices first. Oh yeah, my hand is really cramping. It says, "No, yeah, you don't do things like this anymore, lady. So stop pretending you can." What have your eyes been trying to tell you? Your eyes have been trying to protect you from all the crap you think is art. I don't listen to my shakes. I don't listen to those things, those negatives. Do I sometimes feel that what I'm doing looks like crap? Absolutely. Because sometimes you have something pictured in your mind that looks wonderful in theory, and then you put it to practice, and it's like, ew, what on earth did you just do? No, it's not supposed to look like that. And then you remember that paint, as epoxy, anything fluid, number one, does not listen to you. You have to listen to it. It says, I'm going to be this way, you're going to deal with it. And that's what you do. You deal with it. In case you're wondering, I have some cups, yes, on the side of me, because I do intend on mixing some different colors in order to create some different markings, details, refinements, etc. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause you, and I'm going to finish getting the main body done, and I shall return. Alright, it took me a while because I had to do my dual nebs here, and got the shakes, so I'm doing what I can as I can. I went ahead while I was sucking on that stupid nebulizer and painted all the green on there. Decided the roof needed to be more brown, so I put a copper metallic on there, and I'm going to go ahead and do that for the fence. I'm going to do, I don't know, I was looking for a yellow, but the only yellow-ish that the metallics have are two versions of gold. And one is like a champagne gold. I'm trying to see what its actual name is. All it just says is metallic acrylic paints. We can see that. I just would like a name of what paint that is, what color. But it says shake slowly, gently, etc., etc. These are too thick for that. You'll have to thin them down. But I'm seeing a darker gold here, and then the champagne color gold here. That's what I'm seeing on that. So I think for the highlights, I'm going to go with that. I really did want yellow, but... And then the pink is going to become the flowery window-looking thing. Or, you know, the bird hole for the birds to go in and out. I think this would not be a good choice to be a birdhouse in reality. I still have to paint down there in the porch area, but I figure you're not going to see a whole lot of that. So what I plan on doing is just sort of filling it in with whatever paint falls down in there. I don't know. Maybe it'll be colorful. Maybe it won't. So here's the coppery looking one. This is what I've been using for the rooftop. And it's really pretty. I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and do what I was going to do. And I'm going to thin this down just a little, after I get the fencing painted. So I'm just going to pop this in here. Probably sure you can't see it. That's the one thing about working in such an entirely small area. But I don't have much room for anything right now, so, you know, had to make do. So I'll just tilt this like this, so I can see down there at the bottom, and try not getting the brown on the grass area. But of course I'm going to do that, because that's me. Can't see that well, still shaking, don't like it. I don't like that out of control body shake, where your whole body starts having tremors, and you feel out of sorts. You really do. And I know those of you who have to do these medications that cause you to get the shakes. I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's bad enough our medical conditions are causing us to not have much control over our own lives anymore, but the medications make it just that much worse. And those people who don't take this stuff, or will never end up taking this stuff, will never know what's going on inside our bodies and how it affects our everyday lives. And yeah, it's a tough situation to try to teach people what we go through. Because you can't. Unless you go through it, you don't know it. So, and even then, everybody experiences the after effects and side effects and all that stuff much differently than everybody else. So, you know, nobody actually knows how the other person is truly feeling with these things. Wow, this is so much fun. Of course, this is not the true painting I like to do, but I don't have the stability anymore for that kind of painting. I barely got this, and I've had to readjust how I view things in life, you know, like, okay, so it's not looking professional, so I have to deal with that and say, okay, that's all right. It's still looking like something. You know, don't try to tear yourself down if something is going on that you have no control over. And yeah, it's difficult to deal with it on a day-to-day, full-time basis, but we have to do it as we can. And as far as the medication goes and trying to get it to where others can understand, I'm trying to think of things in life that are similar. Say, okay, you start a new diet. Well, you're not too happy with it because it doesn't have any of the foods you're used to, and it tastes different, and everything you get does not have this or that, or has this or that you're not used to. And so you get kind of a resentment going on that, okay, so I have to have this new diet in order to lose weight. Oops, I'm going to have to pause you just a moment. Okay, so anyway, that was my husband. We were discussing what he was at the store to see what we could find for me to be able to eat, since, you know, sodium is a no-no in my life, and the least amount the best, right? So he went shopping for me, and we started going through the lunch meats and things like that, and nope. There's only one lunch meat I was able to get, and then I can have only one sandwich with up to 9 slices of the meat, processed crap meat. Then the cheese, oh my gosh, yeah, another one. Watch the salt in those cheeses. Oh, they're gone. There's something. But, so, between the bread, the mayo, the meat, and the cheese, I'm already looking at around, I was trying to guesstimate in my head as he was talking, at about 800 to 1,000 milligrams for just one thin sandwich, which would leave me around 500 milligrams tops to go for the whole day. So, anyway, while we were talking, I went ahead and did the overpaint on the green. It does look a lot better. I'm done with that one color, but I'm keeping it around in case I screw things up some more. I do want to get kind of a, I don't know what to call it really, kind of a Pantene on here a little bit. There's already a little bit with the green and everything, but I do want to try to get the color first onto that flower looking thing on the front where the birds are supposed to go in and out. And yes, I'm sticking my hands probably in some wet paint because it's not thoroughly dry. And let me get this turned so I can actually see what's going on. Try to get this green. So what we're going to do, see, I just clear all those cups. There they are. Okay, let's grab that one. We're going to go ahead and see how liquidy this is. Get that down in there a little bit. Now I do want this part thicker. I do. Because I want it to adhere and stick better. So we're going to do that. I'm going to try to push out so I don't go onto the house itself again. I am suffering a nice big old headache right now. It happens when I have to do the Deoneb and do the inhaler thing and all that, and sometimes I just get a massive headache besides the shakes. So I am trying to deal with that right now. Okay, I'm going to try to get on the inside of that hole. Now, this being a birdhouse, you'd figure I'd be gearing this up for birds, but I'm not. And there is a reason for that. Although this is acrylic paint, not supposed to be toxic, I'm also using the metallics, and I have absolutely no idea as to the truth of their claims of non-toxic. And of course, I don't want birds actually getting where they can ingest this stuff or have it absorbed in their skin. All right, gotta let that one dry, but I do have to try to get down into that area. So I'm going to, don't know who that was just now, but I guess I'd better find out since I'm still waiting to hear from my daughter, not of my daughter. Holy crap. Sorry, my husband sent a picture. And he says, kind of spooky. And he sent me a picture of the front of my house. Two of our our cats, are on either side of the curtain and heads pointed out staring. And they waited for Brian to get home. He doesn't realize how much those animals love him and how much he needs to really take care of them. Especially now that I'm going to end up not making it till all of them are gone. I did manage to get a picture of my middle son. That was awesome. I absolutely loved it. So anyway, I'm going to put this phone away now and get back to what I was doing before the paint dries forever. And I hear him coming in because I can hear my puppy going roar, 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 roar. La-da-da-dum, dee-dum. Roar, 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 roar. I love listening to him when he starts in like that. Huskies talk. That's one thing that, if you ever want to get a husky, you'll have to deal with, is they talk. They love talking. It's one of their most favorite things on the planet. They like to run. They like to, well, I'd say fetch things. And my dog does. He fetches. However, when he fetches, he brings it back and drops it and lets it roll away so that you can fetch it too. He's a good boy. An extremely good boy. Oh, I hate it when the brushes separate and they want to go their own way. And then you're sitting there dealing with this scrape and that scrape and got to repaint over it and all that. Well, that part's done. So let's take a look and see what else is going on. I have some more pink here. Just a little bit. So he's just coming back in with receipts showing that the bills got paid, and we pile all those receipts in a drawer so that we go through it once in a while and we make sure what got paid, what didn't. And then after about 7.5 years is when you're supposed to be able to throw away all your receipts if you are claiming certain things on your income tax. Excuse my throat, it's really bad. It's itchy. Okay, I think I got the window all the way, except for the insides of it. And same thing with the door. I need to get more of the door insides. So I'll just set this on top and try to work this down in there. Even if it drips on the inside, that's okay. Oh, there goes some more of the cloth. And yes, Duo-Nebs for your nebulizer can and does leave a coughing trace a lot, kind of like lisinopril does. I wish you guys could like scream at me, hey, am I missing something? Probably. But I think that's good enough. For now, I'm going to go ahead and clean up a little bit because I do want to do the wash on the rest of this the way I wanted to do it. So I'll put you on pause and I'll be back. Alrighty, we're back again. This is that pale gold. So it's pretty, I don't know, yellow, kind of, sort of. So I'm going to try doing what I wanted to do with a yellow and hope that it comes out the way I want it to. One of my cats hollering again. I just moved these two. But I doubt my little plan's going to work out. I'm hoping, but I'm not so sure. So we're going to stick this little cotton swab down here into the paint and probably have way too much on there. So I'll take some off and let's just see if this works. Maybe not. We're going to, yeah, it's just, maybe it's just the way my eyes are seeing this, but it's not looking so promising. At all. Am I going to be mad? Am I going to be sad? We'll see, right? These are supposed to be flowers coming up, and it's not looking like that, is it? Could wipe it off, or I could go ahead and dry brush a Pantene over this, I guess. Let's try that. Kind of shine it up just a little bit. Don't think that did too well either. But let's see. Let's try it on here. Yeah, that'll do. Kind of like that. But it doesn't have much of a metallic shine to it. That I'll grant. It really doesn't. I don't go with that. Kind of like, in case it might happen to look like the sun hitting. I don't know. Alright. Got that. I wish I could have put better lighting in here for doing this. Okay, we're going to go ahead and brush some on the top of this one. After all, the sun is on the top, rooftop, right? And then just kind of carry that on down a little bit here. Same on the other side. Don't want to put too much. Okay, that's done. If you'll notice, I did leave the back with a little extra green on it because it's probably going to be the one that, sits in the dark more, where, mosses gather. Okay. Let me go ahead and clean this off. And now we're going to try the actual painting with the paintbrush method for the flowers. Yeah. Okay. Like that's going to work, right? Of course, there's always finger painting. You know, you can do finger painting. Just means you have to clean your hands off, right? So let's see. I still have a lot of green here. Oh, a lot. Don't need to do anything more with green, so I don't know what to do with it. Well, I should have let that dry, but who knows, right? I'm going to go ahead and do this. Going to put that there, and that there for a moment. There we go. I hope you can see that. Probably not, but that's the best I can get it for right now. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to put, it's really liquidy too, so let's go ahead. Oh, that's working a little bit better. Interesting. Okay, that's doing all right enough. I didn't say this was going to look like a real one, so, you know. Anyway, we'll wait until that dries now. So I'm going to put it on pause while I wait for that to dry. Okay, so I forgot to start this rolling again. So it's finished, as much as I'm going to get done on it. But there we are. I even put a blue doorknob on it. There are some blueberry bushes up here in the front. It probably doesn't even look like that on camera. Then I couldn't get a flower to go straight to St. Petersburg, but there we are. There's some flowers along the side of the house on that side, and on that side. And that's pretty much it. That's what blind people do. Okay, that's what this blind person was capable of. Not much, but it was fun. And it's a distraction. And with all the other distractions I've had through trying to make this video, I have been thoroughly distracted today. Alright, I want to say how much I love all of you. We are this close to that 3,000 watch hour mark. This close. I believe it said 2,800 something the last I checked. And this is May 8th. So Friday, May 8th. We may be one step closer. I'm going to check one more time. And see where we're sitting at. It says 2.9K. But then they have the valid public watch hours. So 2,791. So we're almost there, folks. I'm going to go ahead Monday and go to the bank, get a different account going, so it doesn't interfere with my husband and I's joint account, and I can keep all my earnings from YouTube separate, and that kind of thing. But there's my little cottage for birds. And if the squirrels could fit in there, I'm sure they would give it a go. But we don't have too many small birds around here because our ravens and our crows drive them off. Sometimes the squirrels, of course, raid the nests. And then we got the sparrowhawks. And yeah, it's a hard life for the little guys around here. But here we are. All right. I'm going to take a picture of this and try to get it on the video as a, thumbnail type of thing. If you liked it, of course, a thumbs up. I appreciate everybody so much for coming in and trying to help me get that goal. I need to start paying my bills more, or more on my bills, I should say. I've got, a stack of hospital bills like crazy. And even though I've got 75% off, it's still like $2,500 on a $10,000 normal bill. So I'm doing my best, and I'm still looking for a lower altitude place where there's a hospital and doctors and everybody, that I need. Not easy doing, because there are certain states I won't live in, because, well, I won't put up with the violence and the idiocy that lives in those states. So, yeah, I like the state I'm in because we have a good life here. I mean, we don't have all that rioting and stuff and violence and, most of our gun DEAS, that's by, self-inflicted, or especially accidental. I can't say especially accidental, because we do have hunter safety courses and stuff here. And unless you're a certain age, you have to take them in order to get a license, a hunter's license. In our state, you do not need a license for all that other stuff, or a permit for all that other stuff. So, we keep the Constitution as the Constitution. Anyway, yeah, that's enough political blah blah. And let's see if I can find a home like this, right? Not so great, but a home for me, right? That would be all right. I could do that. I could. All right. Love you, and peace out.